Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio, spotlighting the city's best businesses and the people who lead them.
Lee Cantor here with Stone Payton, another episode of GSU ENI Radio. And Stone, this is going to be a fun one.
Hey, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's already been Old Home Week here. Before we went on air, we found out that one of our star guests this morning is from Pensacola, Florida as well. And as many of our listeners know, I am. So we've had fun catching up on that front. But this is going to be an educating, informative session. Please join me in welcoming to the broadcast. First up on this morning's edition of the Georgia State University ENI radio program coordinator with the Small Business Development Center, Miss Telisha Farrow Jackson. Good morning.
Good morning. Woo, woo.
Well, Telisha, before we get too far into things, tell us a bit about the SBDC. How are you serving folks?
Oh, wow. We serve people in various ways. We offer strategic planning and market research, financial analysis for startups and existing businesses. We're there to assist them in small businesses with, really having their dreams come true.
So that's all it takes. I'm a small business person. I just call you up and say, hey, make my dreams come true. And you're like, okay, what would you like? And it's like, kid, open up the treasure chest and there's all the goodies come out.
Pretty much. We help and assist small businesses or entrepreneurs who are thinking about pursuing entrepreneurship. We guide them through the process. We're there to also assist and provide resources for their small business or their ideas and to help jumpstart their starting businesses or existing businesses for if they need additional loan proposal preparation, if they need guidance and assistance in their marketing and their research, HR planning, accounting, financial management.
So I don't even have to have a business? Like I can just have an idea and I can come in to see you? Or like where's the lines drawn?
Pretty much there are no specific lines. When it comes to having a business idea, we do come in and assist with writing a business plan. So if you do have an idea, we will assist and guide you in writing a business plan.
To see if it's viable or not.
Correct. And to help guide you through the process of making sure that at some point comes to fruition.
Now, do you find that a great many people don't really have a good handle on how to put together a business plan and really could just use some direction on just the structure of a business plan?
Absolutely. A lot of times they lack the market research that goes into a business plan, the financial feasibility of it, and just the whole outline of all of the elements and feasibility that goes into creating a business plan. Yes.
So now, do you think that if somebody has a small business now and is maybe struggling a little bit, or maybe not, maybe they're growing, but a stop in their kind of trajectory in their life cycle should be to the SBDC just to kind of check in to get some kind of general business perspective? Because you don't know what you don't know. Like you might be a good mechanic or I might be good at cutting hair, but there might be other things out there that might help me that I don't even know exist without kind of some holistic knowledge.
Absolutely. We assist with that in creating a business model, strategic planning in order to create that model for your business and to really put it into play. And
be a sounding board for me?
Absolutely. You say sounding board. We're not counselors. But on the same token, we do provide, guidance and counseling as to what is viable. And that's through the research that we're able to provide and all of the tools that we have in order for you to see that this is viable or non-viable and really allow you to make that decision.
So you're not doing any consulting really, or are you?
Yes.
Okay, so you are doing some consulting.
Absolutely. We are a consultation service.
But you're not giving me advice? Or I'm not discerning the difference between that.
So we do offer our consultation is our resources that we offer. It is That is the guidance that we provide, of giving you the resources and providing you with research for your business, for whatever it is that you're looking for. That planning and assisting is a part of our consultation services.
And then how much does this cost? Is this expensive?
There is no direct cost to the taxpayer because we are taxpayer funded.
Okay, so this is funded through the state government or federal government?
Through the federal government.
And then this is a service to small business to help accelerate their growth and to help them thrive.
Exactly. Additionally, we provide workshops and continuing education. And as the program coordinator, I take a vested interest and the lead on providing continuing education. Mm-hmm. Those are of a nominal cost to any of our clients that they can, choose.
Now, okay, so let's use us as an example. Star.
Yeah, we need it.
We need help.
Well, let me say first, I know that when we started 12 years ago building out this network, it wasn't on my radar that anything like this was even available, and maybe it was even back then. I think there's a lot of people out there that aren't aware of this resource even to this day. Yeah.
Yes, we do get a lot of clients and people that come through and saying, "I did not know you were here."
Yeah.
That's why referral is very important to us. Partnerships are very important to us. And just the success stories from other entrepreneurs or small businesses that have used us in the past, those are very important to us to spread the word that we are here.
Yeah. So we got to do a better job of capturing those stories and sharing that news. But yeah, let's fix Lee. Let's get this. Let's get some help here.
So the SBDC has been around for 40 years. And we've had a presence at Georgia State University. We are one of 17 other offices, if you include the Office of Minority Business Development, which we consider that as OMBD. We're full of acronyms. But we have various offices throughout the state of Georgia.
All right, so let's walk it through like you're talking
All right,
about.
so like part of our mission is to tell the stories of small to mid-sized business. And then some of our work we don't charge for, like what we're doing right here. Is there grant opportunities that maybe we don't know about? Do you help in that regard? Like when we were doing kind of community service education like this?
Now, most times government, there are not a lot of startup grants, I would say, through government. Most times those are reserved for technology services, I would say. But I would say, well, it's technology as well as healthcare. But for the most part, there are some small organizations or private organizations that may offer different grant programs throughout the course of, the year or their time and presence to like minorities, veterans, women's organizations and things like that, such as like Coca-Cola or Best Buy.
So like a big enterprise might invest.
Some, it could be small or large or private organizations.
And then you just provide like a list of here are some companies that offer this type of thing, or do you kind of do some of the matchmaking and make introductions?
We do a lot of matchmaking, and that's a part of our resources. So much of the list that may change from time to time, so it's hard to keep up with everything that's out there. But if we are familiar or if we are aware of something, we definitely pass that resource on to our client.
All right, so getting back to talking about me, one of my favorite stuff. So in our situation, we've got this great little business, right? It's a great lifestyle business. We're trying to grow it beyond that into a network. And I mean, I don't think it's any secret. We haven't tried to hide it. We're having some challenges in achieving what we call escape velocity, right? From that little small lifestyle business to a genuine network. We've been at this 12 years, so, we might not be the sharpest tools in the shed. Are folks like us allowed in a program like this, or do you have to be a brand new startup-y kind of thing?
Absolutely. Do not have to be a startup. You can be an existing business, which you are, an established business. And we actually like those and prefer those as well. We provide strategic planning. And I would say that for any existing business, it's good to check in every 5 years to reassess your business. You want to come in and we can provide strategic planning for you, financial feasibility, for you, a variety of cash flow analysis to see how's your cash flow flowing, how's your HR, how's your marketing. With all of the age of technology that's changing, the marketing tools that you may have used 5-10 years ago, they may need to be adjusted and updated.
Well, I can tell you just off the top of my head, we were a nonprofit in February and March.
So now, how do you spend most of your time? Is it helping businesses get loans? Are you doing most of your work educating entrepreneurs on the different aspects of running a business? Like, what's a typical day in the life for you like?
So a typical day in the life for me specifically would be, getting all of my consultants in order. But for the most part, it's providing research or resources. So we come in, we're constantly, as I said before, as a program coordinator, I am checking in with the clients to find out what their needs are. We are there to match the needs of our clients and what they're looking for, designing programs in order to meet their needs. Workshops, we give seminars, we give workshops, we provide, consulting services one-on-one. We go out and talk to different organizations, outreach to partner with organizations and to get the word out and know that SBDC is here and we're here to help.
Now, how do you work with Georgia State?
So with Georgia State, we are a sponsor-funded program through the Georgia State University. So we are there and we work with the J. Mac Robinson College of Business to provide business services and resources through the College of Business.
And then that's for primarily the student entrepreneurs, or if faculty wants to be an entrepreneur or are entrepreneurs, it's for anybody related to the university?
It is related to anyone a part of the university, but it's primarily to the outside. Georgia State University has what they call I can't remember the name specifically, but they have a student service for students who are enrolled, and they have, special services for them. But we are primarily, yes, if the faculty is looking to start a business or any outside client, we're there for that as well.
So now, do you help a startup, like if they check all the boxes, it seems like they have something viable, do you help them kind of with the loan process, or is that where kind of your responsibility ends and you hand that off to a bank? Or
we do help with collecting data. Or financial or putting together financial packages for banks. A lot of times, depending on what the bank is looking for, the partners that we've used or the banks that we've used in the past, most of the time they're looking for the 5 C's in their startup loan packages, from like the credit score that bank sees as a reflection of the client's character, capital, collateral, the capacity for which they can handle the debt that's about to be loaned, and then conditions for outside market conditions. And that's where we're able to provide that research that I spoke of earlier.
Now, do you have a story you can share of something rewarding, a success story that you helped take a company to the next level?
Well, I can share with you of a client that went through.
You don't have to keep it anonymous. You just tell
Absolutely, no worries. I'm sure they probably wouldn't mind the additional advertisement, though. But we do have a client, or a few, but one specifically that has gone through our signature program, and we have certain signature programs that are called Grow Smart, Start Smart, and our Max series, but they went through one of our Grow Smart programs that is really like a little mini MBA program. And it's a 5-week course. And in that course, they made a partnership, or they made introduction to one of our partners, the Now account. And the Now accounts ended up helping them and assisting them bridge the gap for some of their finances. And they ended up and went on to be the Super Bowl vendor of this past Super Bowl 2019, the Super Bowl Business Vendor of the Year.
Wow.
So that is definitely one of our success stories with the SBDC and our partnerships and our guidance and resources that we have provided for our clients.
And then what for you personally is the most rewarding part of your job?
Being here, doing things like this, being able to see a business come to fruition from the time that, the short time that I've actually been there. I have seen businesses come in as, needing help and watch them grow in 6 to 9, 10 months, and being able to come back and tell that story. So that is definitely a rewarding experience.
That's got to be so much fun to watch that. Yeah.
Yes.
So what do you need more of? How can we help you?
So you can help us by spreading the word, partnering with us.
So how does that work when you partner with organizations?
So there are different organizations that we partner with, such as, and a lot of them have acronyms. So I'm going to try and spell out some of those for you.
We need more acronyms. Write that down. That's it.
I had to learn that when I got here. Like, I'm sorry, what? The what? The what? The A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The SBA, which is the Small Business Administration. And I was lucky enough to bring that guy with me today. So you'll get to hear from him. Who are some of the others? The GMSDC, which is the Georgia Minority Supplier Development Council.
We just had them on the air yesterday.
Talk about Stacey Key.
We love them. Stacey Key is one of them out there. And the Georgia Department of Economic Development, Georgia Tech, Procurement Technology, PTAC, and Assistance Center. Again, as I mentioned, the Now Count, and I could go on and on.
So it's not just government organizations. It can be nonprofits or for-profit organizations as well.
Correct. Small organizations or large government organizations as well.
So now if somebody wanted to learn more and have more substantive conversation about you, about your work?
About my work specifically?
Or just the SBDC, like what is the coordinates for you to learn more about Small Business Development Center?
So I would just say visit our website. Definitely we always have a training page that outlines all of the training that comes up. We offer workshops, and those workshops are, again, they're devised from what we feel needs to be put out there, or what the clients have asked for, or small businesses are looking for, such as writing a business plan, QuickBooks Basics and Beyond, perfecting your sales pitch, doing business with GSU, government contracting is a big one. A lot of our small businesses are looking for assistance with walking and guiding through that process. Women's entrepreneurship, 8A step application, and not far coming along, we're doing a CEO breakfast just to get
Nice.
the info out there and to meet other entrepreneurs and small businesses and network with them, as well as a lot of marketing.
So if somebody wants to learn more, it's georgiasbdc.org.
Yes, georgiasbdc.org/Atlanta is our specific location.
And then it's a statewide program, though. So, right.
Yes, it is.
And you're just kind of in charge of Atlanta.
We're in charge of Atlanta.
All right, but without her, the whole opera falls apart. Let's be honest.
Yes, our main office, or our state office, is located in Athens, Georgia.
Yeah,
and so there, that's the breeding ground for all of the centers, and each center has their own individual training page. But if you just go to www.georgiasbdc.org, it can pull up all of the locations, all of the contact information, and all of their training workshops and programs for the future.
Well, thanks for sharing your story. Thanks for keeping us informed about what you guys are doing. And Lee, let's make a point, if we can, if it's practical for them and for us, to maybe start capturing some of these stories and make sure that the people out in the marketplace know what's happening.
Right. Is that a way that our organization can work with yours? Is be a place where, as you have success stories or people that want to get the word out, you let us know and we can get them on the air and spotlight them?
Absolutely. We can definitely do that. I'm going to be a little transparent and say that we've even tried to kind of imitate you guys. That's how much we respect you. We have our center puts on a Facebook Live, just so we go on and just imitate whatever you did the day before, pretty much. No.
As long as we can help, we're happy.
No, but we would love to highlight. We do have success stories, and we have write-ups that our consultants do on their clients and small businesses that they share quarterly. And so we'll be happy to pass those on, and we share those we have a Georgia Trend magazine and a small business development magazine. We have news for growing businesses that comes out quarterly. So we're able to provide any of those and a lot of the featured stories.
So if we were a place that kind of promoted some of the work that you're doing and some of the entrepreneurs, that would be beneficial.
Absolutely.
To everybody, right?
Absolutely.
All
Well,
right,
thanks
we'll make
again.
that happen.
Yeah. Now, I understand you brought a ringer with you.
I did. The funny thing about this.
You discovered this guy, right? Have I got that right? Or did I have that backwards?
Well, pretty much.
And we're going to let him on the show even though he's not from Pensacola, right?
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
We're going to spread our wings a little bit. So, yeah, tee this guy up. Tell us who we're going to get a chance to visit with here.
So this guy is a guy that really took me under his wings, brought me into the SBDC, and taught me not everything I needed to know, but
on purpose.
Right. He saved a little, but he taught me a lot. And then he kind of transitioned to do his own thing. So now he's with the SBA Small Business Development Center. Small Business Administration. I apologize. But just so that I can continue to pick his brain, I call him every time whenever I need him, just to make sure that I'm on point and that he doesn't get away from me.
So I'm sure you have a nickname for him, but what's his real name and title?
Jeff Patterson. Jeffrey Patterson is his real name, and I'll let him.
My mama calls me Jeffrey.
All right, Mr. Patterson.
Yeah, thank you.
Tell us what you do over there at the SBA, man. What's your role?
Well, the official role is the Supervisory Lender and Economic Development Specialist. So that's a mouthful. They kind of smash two jobs together. Lenders are my audience now, and obviously when you think of SBA, you think of credit, right? And so that's a major outreach and a major touch point for the Small Business Administration, and then the economic development side. So part of the job is to make sure those folks know what we're doing and how we're, helping the environment, the small business climate to get jobs into Georgia.
So part of your job is to kind of recruit businesses from outside the state into Georgia?
Well, we support that, obviously, but we don't actually do the recruiting part. We leave that to the chambers and the economic development folks, but we'll come in a supporting role. So,
and then what would be that role? Like,
so if there's capital that needed here, or job training, those kind of things, we pull from the SBDCs as well as subject matter experts. We know other folks in our network, but we would help with some training, general training, or, make something specific for them, for the business coming in. So
now when you're working with businesses, it's primarily to help them get financing?
Well, when you think of SBA, I think that's where everybody's mind goes first is to the capital piece. And we describe our mission in another bunch of acronyms, if you will, but it's 3 C's and a D. And obviously one of those C's is the capital piece. So we have loan programs where we don't have the money. So we work with the bankers, and the funding partners in town, nationwide basically, but we'll come in and guarantee Telisha mentioned the 5 C's of credit. If there's a little bit of a blip on one of those and the banker says, well, we'd really like the deal. We want to fund this thing, but your collateral's a little bit skinny. We come in with an SBA loan product and we will guarantee up to 75% of the loan in case something goes bad. So what we like to say is we turn the frown upside down kind of thing. We help you get the deal across the finish line, and we kind of act like an insurance policy on the backside if something does go wrong. That rarely happens, but then we come in and help, we help the losses on the bank side for up to 75% of the loan amount.
So now, is this a situation that you hear a lot of failures of businesses, they're undercapitalized? Is this a possible solution to some of that?
Well, we do work with the bank partners to help obviously fund those businesses. And capital, yes, is the number one reason businesses fail, and lack of planning. I think Telisha mentioned that too. But capital is one reason that banks fail. So, yeah, we spend a lot of time in that sphere, trying to help educate the borrowers, and then educate the lenders and how to match those two, stand in the gap kind of thing.
So now you've been in banking
34 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've seen a lot of businesses come and go and loans come and go.
Right.
What is some kind of common mistakes you see business people make that maybe that you have that's obvious to you but may not be obvious to them?
Well, I think you've alluded to it. Basically, you know how to do your thing, right? You know how to do the doc knows how to do the doctoring, but they don't really know how to run the business piece of that, or the hairdresser knows how to do the hair, but not really know how to run the business. So that's where I see a lot of the of the issues. You don't know what you don't know. I think you said that earlier. So that's where we send folks. We offer workshops as well through the SBA, and so we try to educate. We work closely with SBDCs and our other resource partners to educate the borrower. But the biggest thing is lack of planning, lack of capital, and that's kind of where we try to tell folks, hey, you need to know your break-even point. You need to know what your cost of goods are, and you need to know what your net profit is. And that's the valuable thing. One of the C's is counseling. So that's one of the valuable things that the SBDC network can help with is they do a lot of benchmarking. So they'll know in an industry what somebody, for example, that has done what you guys are doing for 20 years as opposed to 12, they can pull the information to say, you're at 12 years now, but 20 years out, you ought to be at sales of this, and your cost of goods ought to be X, and your net profit margin ought to be Y. And so they'll benchmark you and kind of give you the end game, if you will. And again, that's a lot of what I saw when I was loaning money. People just kind of came in and said, I'm here to get my money, but it's a sales pitch, right? So you got to make your case to the lender because there's 30 other files on that person's desk. And if you come in and say, look, I've been to the SBDC or I've been to SCORE, I've got my business plan, they've benchmarked my stuff, we've gotten some conservative projections in line here, and want you to take a look at this. Don't need anything today. That's the other thing. Don't go in with your hair on fire. Say, I got to make payroll Thursday. Okay. So get your business plan together. Say, I don't need anything today. Look this over. I'll be back in about a week and we can talk a little bit more about that. Then you look prepared. You can make your pitch. You can ask for the money, and typically you get funded that way. So
now in your experience, what are, for an entrepreneur or a growing company, what are kind of the pros and cons of going for a loan as opposed to getting, venture capital or angel investing or crowdfunding? There's a lot of ways to get money nowadays that maybe weren't as prevalent as there were.
So the con is kind of where your mind goes to the first. You're giving up part of you're giving up part of your baby, right? So, and you're giving up your control. So when you go to those angels and the venture guys, those people typically will give you the money, but they typically want an exit strategy. Well, if you give up too much,
you're on a clock, right?
You're right. If you give up too much, they may come in one day and say, you know what, I'm going to take my money and go play somewhere else. And if you give up the controlling interest of your company, then you can find yourself in a awkward position. So those are the kind of things. The pros are they're industry specific. If those venture or PE guys know your industry, then they're going to understand it. And they're going to already know what the benchmark should be, what the sales figure should be, how many headcount, how many people you should hire, those kind of things. So that's the good side. They're going to already understand the business. The banking side is, you're borrowing the money. The pro is, if you're prepared, you make your pitch well, got all the 5 C's that Telisha mentioned, and maybe you do need the SBA to stand in the gap, then you get your money. Bad news is, you got to pay it back monthly. So if there's a cash flow or something like that issue, then that's the con. You got to make sure you can keep your lifestyle and make your payments, right? So it's, there are pros and cons on each side of the coin. Just know that going in. And again, we try to educate folks on each of those as a strategy. Also talk to your CPA and attorney. You need those guys or gals on your team as well.
Now, in because we deal with a lot of startups. A lot of people get funded. One of the things they talk about is smart money and dumb money. Like, money isn't just money, right? Like, some of the benefits of getting investors are that they're coming with connections and help.
Correct.
It's not just money.
Right.
Is there anything in the SBA or in banking that also comes with some help, or is it just like, here's a pile of money, we checked you out, it looks like you'll be able to repay it, and you're kind of on your own?
No, I think, again, the continuing support from folks like the SBDC, SCORE. We also have a program for veterans through our Veterans Business Outreach Centers, and particularly for women. Now, you don't have to be a female to get the services, but we call them the Women Business Centers. So I would say those folks are the network and the support long term. And again, they're kind of on demand, and hey, it's free. So use them. Hey, I've kind of hit the wall. I need some help here, or I'm thinking about another location. Where can I, give me my demographic studies and those kind of things to show, where I should put this thing if I'm going to open up my second baby, my second location. But I would say that's the support network that's there. The SBA also, again, we offer trainings and things like that to help along the way, but we can't really connect you to those kind of things. But, through our resource partners, you can tap into that.
Now, is there any kind of trends you're seeing in terms of business growth in Georgia? I mean,
well, I think the economy's rocking and rolling a little, pretty good right now. So there is a lot going on in the community for women businesses, and so obviously we want to support that. There's a lot in technology. And everybody wants to live in the South. So we've got all things going on for the good here. But, I think overall things are trending way more positive than, maybe we see on the evening news.
Now, what about opportunities for entrepreneurs? Like, where are some areas where you're like, I wish that they would take advantage of some of this stuff? It's all just sitting here. And like you said, most of it's free.
Right, yeah.
Like, why aren't more people just leveraging some of these resources?
So here's one thing that's just like the duh factor. Okay. So 96% of the people that buy stuff live outside the United States. Okay. And we have a less, it's like 18% or so of the businesses in Georgia export. So that's the biggest no-brainer, I think. With the internet and things like that, you need to sell your products and goods. People think exporting, I make something and so I can export that. It's services as well. It's architectural. It's other things that you don't really need to make a good to actually take advantage of the exporting. And here's the other thing: the bankers, to incent them to get more involved with export lending, you can get up to a 90% guarantee from the SBA to help facilitate that. So think again, 96% of all the people that buy things are outside the United States. So, and Canada is pretty easy to do business with, and, Mexico, depending on the tariffs, but, our neighbors close by, it's kind of easy to do business in Canada and Mexico, but you need to think about that because that's exporting.
Right. Now, so where would a person go if they've never even considered exporting? So what would be kind of some baby steps?
So the first step is the SBDC, as a matter of fact, has an exporting division. So there's 2 or 3 guys that know where the rocks in the road are, so to speak, on the other side of the pond. And they've been there and done that. So they have a vast amount of knowledge. They can connect you to those things and kind of help walk you through that.
And that's the International Trade
right.
Division of
so,
the SBDC.
Yeah. So you must, in order to get the SBA services, you must have a business plan, but particularly to do business in the exporting and get the funding there, you have to have a business plan as well. You have to show how much of a gain you're going to get by doing business overseas, which that's an easy multiple to do, basically. But with the internet and all, it's just easy to do things, again, globally. And that's what we want to, but the first baby step is to go see the SBDC folks. Then we have one person that's kind of his job as well. So, we'll offer up some classes at SBA for export lending. And then we have the USIACs, the United States Export Assistance Centers, another acronym. But there's a guy off Peachtree Street right here. He's embedded with the XM Bank guys, and so the USIAC is another great resource for you.
And then you go through this process, and then they're kind of equipping you with seeing if it's viable, if your business kind of makes sense to do exporting. And if it is, then it kind of gives you a roadmap of how to go about the process.
Think of it big picture, like it's just another avenue. It's another revenue stream. So it does, you set the plan out and work the plan. Yep. That's the way it works.
And then your work is not just here in the metro area, it's the entire state?
We are responsible for the entire state, and there's a little port in Savannah where there's a lot of goods and services that goes to and fro. We're looking to open another office in Savannah, so obviously because of the Port Authority and all the good stuff that's going on there. And I'll give you another success story. While I was at the SBDC, a guy comes in, he says, I just sold my other business. I want to do something else, and I've got about $3 million to invest. And I'm like, yay, and let me come to work for you. But he seriously, he had found an aluminum extrusion company, and he said, I need to know how much of that stuff is going out the port in Savannah. So the first thing is I called the SBDC International folks. I said, give me some data. So we found, guess what? We found how much was going outside, or how much was going through the port to other purchasers. We also found out who was the purchaser. So how valuable would that be? And then, how much they were buying. So we gave the guys a couple of critical data points to make sure that was something they wanted to do. So it's good information at the SBDCs and the SCORE network. They can help you a lot.
So market research sounds like an important part of this, of the information to make informed decisions. Is it something that you can just go, I'll throw this out to both of you, that you just can say, okay, I don't know what the market is. Can you help me define the market? Or I don't know where the next 10 studios should be. Can you help me know which kind of markets fit these criteria with X of these and Y of these?
That's right. So the industry, all the demographic studies, so you need to be hanging out where your clients are, right? Mm-hmm. But again, we can tell you, SBDC can tell you that, what the next growth market would be for you based on whatever criteria you see. I mean, they could tell you how many folks bought toothpaste within a 25-mile radius of this building.
And that's all free.
That's it.
That's the access to market research and the resources.
So here's the last plug for that. So they're university-based. So number one, smart people, right? Number two, they have a big research library that most of us on the street really can't access.
Right.
So take it from there, Telisha.
Having those, there are different resources and tools that we use in order to achieve that information or those different market analysis.
So it's just a matter of just calling up your office and saying, okay, I want to know, like for us, people who have purpose-driven companies are important, that they align philosophically with us. So if I said, how many consultants, CPAs, and law firms are purpose-driven, I could just ask you that, and you have a team of people that are like, I'll find that out.
Yes, our consultants find that out.
Wow.
Two things I wanted to add. One is we have our consultants primarily come from small businesses that they have run themselves, they've been a part of, or they're familiar with, and they all have their own area of expertise that they are able to share. Mm-hmm. They may come from banking, they may come from marketing, they may come from, different areas throughout. So they're able to share, and we can align you with a consultant that best serves the needs of that small business. The other thing is, a lot of times we talked about financial loan assistance, and everyone, or I shouldn't say every, but most small businesses, they think, okay, I need a loan. A lot of times, even for existing businesses, they don't realize that there's money in your business. And that's what SBDC consultants can help you find. They can do that cash flow analysis or that market research or financial assistance and find the money within your business. And a lot of times, businesses don't recognize that you don't need a loan, not to take away anything from Jeff or the SBA, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just need to find the money within your business and kind of do some readjusting and aligning and strategic planning to iron that out.
It's an efficiency thing.
Yes.
You can, that's just what they know how to do. So
Right.
find the money.
Well, and even going to Jim's team and saying, you know what, we did this, we did that, we got consulting, and we found some money.
Right.
And that helped us get from point B to C, and now we still need your help. I mean, so
Sure.
there's no downside to that.
Oh,
right?
goodness, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, it takes a
That's
village.
attractive, right?
It takes a village, right?
Because
So,
you may not need
yeah.
as much as you thought you need.
Correct.
You may just need a small loan or a micro loan.
That's the other thing. Is you need to know how much you need.
Right.
If I didn't say that earlier, you need to come in, here's what I need. Here's what I'm going to use it for. There's something called sources and uses. That's important to the banker. Here's what it's going to cost. Here's how I'm going to spend the money. Here's my share in the deal. And here's how much I need from you. That kind of all lines up. So,
Well, Jeff, if somebody wanted to learn more, get maybe have a meeting with you or somebody at the SBA to see if it makes sense, what's the
easiest way is just hit the website, sba.gov, G-O-V, and then also we are located downtown. Again, we cover the whole state of Georgia, 404-331-0100.
And then at SBA.gov, they can drill down to a loan person or get help in that. And there's education. There's all kinds of resources.
There are resources there. To get to the loan people, you really need to call. But otherwise, there's a business plan outline on our website. There's all sorts of tools. I will mention this. We always at SBA want to send you where you have a relationship with your banker. Banking is a relationship-driven business, just like your business is relationship driven. So you need to have that relationship with the banker. But if you don't, or they don't do your industry specific, we've got a matchmaking tool on our website. I want to mention, it's kind of like, the dating site for businesses and bankers. It's called Lender Match. So I want you to go there, check that out. It's basically so easy. You build a profile on your side. Here's what I want to do. Here's things I'm doing. Here's what I'm looking for. And the banker's on the other side doing the same thing. I'm looking for hotel loans in Savannah, Georgia at this zip code for this amount of money. Boom. The next thing you know, tomorrow or the next day, you get an email, and both of y'all take it from there is the way it works. So Lender Match is a good tool. And
then in your bank career, were you working with large banks or community banks or
credit unions, all of the above? Yeah, everybody. Yeah, everybody that wants to get in the program. Obviously, there's a little bit of paperwork. I'm from the government, right? So we want any lender to do business with us. Yeah.
Now, from an advice standpoint for the entrepreneur, can you go through pros and cons of a big mega bank versus a local bank, or you don't want to get into that?
Well, I'm just
you're everybody's friend.
I am everybody's friend. I'll go back to my statement. It's relationship driven. So make sure you have, and I will say this, when you go into the larger institutions, so you don't want to see the mortgage person for your commercial loan, right? So you want to make sure you get to the right person, expert,
no matter which one you're choosing.
Yeah. So just ask around. Say, look, I'm here for a business loan. Who do I need to talk to? Not the person that makes the car loans necessarily. The bigger folks have that.
Those specialists,
but the smaller banks do not. So, but anyway, just anybody, any credit union. There are private lenders that we do business with too. There's ACE. There's a Lyft. So check all those out. Again, some links are on our website for that.
Good stuff. And that's SBA.gov for more information.
Correct.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much for sharing your story. All right. Anything else?
I just wanted to say tools are very important. A lot of the tools that we offer, like Esri, Industrious CFO, and a lot of those tools are very expensive for individual small businesses.
That you have access to?
That we have access to. And again, no direct cost.
And they're available. So just take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
And the best way is just go to the website or give you guys a call and then just build a relationship with somebody on your team, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody should do that. There's no harm in that at all.
There's no harm and no excuses.
All right. Well, thank you both for sharing your story. You're doing important work, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right. This is Lee Cantor for Stone Payton. We will see you all next time on GSU ENI Radio.
I was like, I forgot what I was going to say.
No, you're good.